and begin to identify what are the things that I as a manager need to do, and to what degree will these changes, change our strategic goals and plans. So when we are doing our plans for 2021, what are the things that we should take note of? What are the things that we should identify? What are the things that should be uppermost in our minds when we begin to think about changes in our organizations? So as scary as the thought may be, the new normal might last for a very long time. Things might not go back to what we know as normal, where we will still have our 1,000 in a room party, where we'll have our desk very close, where we can move around without the mask. It might take a long time for the world to go back to what we understand as normal. So the sooner we get used to changing the dynamics of how we work and understanding our role as managers, the better for all of us involved. Now, I spoke about adaptability, and here I have said adaptability may be your most essential skill in the new normal. And what is adaptability? It is the capacity to cope with and capitalize on change, and the ability to recover when unforeseen events alter your life plans. That's what adaptability is. It is one essential skill, the ability to quickly move when things happen. So if, for example, so what has happened this morning, it's one of the examples. So if, for instance, we started this and we saw that we were having technological issues, one of the things that NIM did was to quickly go off and come back very quickly and try to remedy what the situation is. Adaptability is thinking on your feet. Adaptability as a manager is an essential skill. In this new normal, or whatever it is that we call the new normal, in the new world today, adaptability is the new skill. And I've explained what it is here. So how do we begin to embrace change? Technology is the new change, whether we like it or not. And disruptive technology is what is happening around the world. Now, COVID-19 has brought it closer, but these things have been happening. And unfortunately for us as Nigeria, we are not technologically advanced, but these things are happening already. So I'll give you a few examples from what you've seen here, but I'll break it down to simple so you can understand what it means. How many of you find out that when you are searching something on, or maybe you are reading something on Google, when you go on Facebook, you begin to see adverts or things that relate to what you were searching on Google? That's what the Internet of Things means. And that's part of what augmented reality is talking about. Augmented reality makes it easy for you. For example, you will see if you go online for some stores abroad, you can actually see the physical thing that you want to buy right on your screen. Practically, like you can touch it, if you will. That's augmented reality. And most of the shops like Nike have already started using things like that. Countries like Singapore are highly technologically advanced, already using what we call as artificial intelligence, AI, to deal with a lot of issues. Artificial intelligence is the one that will, so if they say chat with us online, you are not chatting with a person, you're chatting with an artificial intelligence chat bot. We call it chat bots. So all of these things are already happening in the world. There's really nothing new, because the whole idea is that technology is going to take over some of the work. So as a manager, are you ready for the Internet of Things? Do you understand what it means? Are you as a manager ready to do your work using technology, or you want technology to replace you? Looking at the World Economic Forum, the part of their projections for 2022, 2025, that a lot of jobs will be lost to technology. So you need to begin to identify, this manager that I'm doing, will my job be lost to technology? What are the new things that I need to learn to understand, and understand how this works? Blockchain deals with data, where data about everything can be loaded in developing countries like Nigeria, where we are also not, running fast to catch on. Countries like United Arab Emirates, Dubai, have really gone fast technology, and soon they are going to begin to. We can't work with them except we update what we do as well. So, what are we seeing now with this? The change is happening, and then I said you need to embrace change. And I'm not talking about Nigeria style of change. I'm talking about, the reality of the workplace. What is the truth about the workplace? If you have refused to go along with the new workplace, you will find yourself really left behind. And irrespective of what kind of job that you do, technology is so important. You need to understand how technology works. So we're seeing remote work. People are staying in their homes and doing their work and delivering their work. People can stay in America and be doing work in Nigeria, and be paid. I teach in the University of Applied Sciences in Austria. I have gone to Austria in 2 years, but I teach my students from Lagos here, where I'm seated in my house. I do my assignments. I give them the assignments. I get the assignments. I grade them, and I pass or fail, or So it's remote work. That is technology. I always have a full class. I can have a full session of class with my students and see all of them in a classroom setting. So that's technology. What are we seeing again? We are seeing the expanded use of technology and non-traditional employee monitoring tools. So a lot of organizations now, the banks, the multinationals, what they've done is that they've been able to create work tools. So we have work tools like Asana, Microsoft Teams, where organizations have their units. Each unit comes together in a so they can still see themselves as if they are in the office, and they monitor. They have tools that are like clocking. You can clock into work at 8 a.m. In TC Praxis, we use one like that, where the technology allows you to clock in when you resume work, the same way you sign in there, and it lets us know when you are not on your decks. When you leave to go for lunch, you need to sign up for lunch. And when you come back from lunch, you need to sign in for lunch. It is time, because it is important that you know that when you are paying salaries, you're not paying salaries for people lying on their bed and doing nothing. That's technology. That's where the world is going. What are we seeing? We're seeing a lot of job losses. People are losing job, full-time employment, because salaries have to be cut. People have not made money this year. So we are seeing more temporary or contract workforce, where you just pay for using their time and nothing more. So you are not carrying overheads of pension, HMO, these taxes, payee. No, people have lost a lot of jobs this year, and many more are still going to lose their job, particularly looking at the economy in Nigeria, the reality of the economy in Nigeria, if we want to tell ourselves the truth. We are seeing a very sluggish economy globally. The world is still trying to stand on its feet. America is going to vote today. The outcome of those elections are going to have an effect on the world, whether we like it or not. If Trump wins again, we are all going to feel the effect of that across the world. We're already seeing that, as it were. So the global economy in itself is going through a lot of changes, and this will affect work. It will affect us even as Nigerians. We're also seeing the separation of critical skills from roles. So that you are a manager does not mean that you are going to still have your job. The fact is, what is your skill? What critical skills do you bring on board? What critical skills do you bring on board? Commitment to your work. Are you adaptable? Are you learning new things? What new tools are you learning to use? You need to understand that skills are important now, or else before you know it, you are relegated to the background, even if you don't lose your job. So these are the things that we are seeing. We're also seeing transition from designing for efficiency to designing for resilience. So organizations are now building for sustainability. How far can we ensure that our business stays longer than us? So it's no longer about how fast we're doing the job. It's more about how well we're doing it. Efficiency, we're designing, yes, for efficiency, but I've seen resilience as well, because a lot of companies have gone under. A lot of companies are closing down. A lot of small businesses have suffered a lot. And then add COVID-19 and add the NSAS, that also, you know, loss of property, destruction of people's livelihood and things like that. So what should we do? What should I do? What should I know? The first thing is to accept the change. You must learn to accept change. You know, in accepting change, it will help you to adjust to the new normal. Waiting for things to go back to normal before you adapt, remember I've talked about adaptability, is a wrong move for any manager right now. Any manager, it does not matter what you're doing. I've seen so many people joining. I've seen the police women. I've seen all sorts of people joining. But it's important that you understand that it is about accepting that things are not going to go back to normal. So how do I get better at my business? If you run your own side hustle, how do I get better at my work as a manager? The next thing is that you need to think about technology. You need to think of technology. Technology is the future of the business world. The latest trend since the pandemic is to replace manpower with technology. So what technology can do, we don't need a human being to do it. So we don't need to pay that money. We need to invest. We will rather invest in technology. So with this, you see more and more people losing their jobs. So technology is on the rise. Even though we are slow in Nigeria, it will catch up with us at some point, because if we want to be able to do business with the global world, if you want to be seen as global managers, looking at your peers in other countries and other parts of the world, innovation and the use of technology is what you need to focus on. The next thing I said here is identify and take action to close your missing 33%. What is your missing 33%? What I've done here is to explain it. When determining whether a woman can lead an organization, board executives look for ability to demonstrate business, strategic, and financial acumen. This is what we call the missing 33. As women, sometimes we believe that we are qualified for the job. And yes, we are qualified for the job, but we do not show the ability that we are qualified for the job. We always say, hey, they don't want a woman. You know, how do you prove that you have the business, strategic, and financial acumen? And that's by showing it and speaking up. You cannot demonstrate organizational agility if you do not already have a firm foundation of the inner workings, the goals, operations of the organization that you are in. A couple of days ago, I was speaking to a group of human resources managers and professionals. And one of the things that I said to them is, I asked them a question. How many of you have seen an HR professional take over to become the CEO of an organization? How many? In Nigeria, for instance. It's almost not there. But you will see a financial person, a CFO, for example, will grow up, will move up the ladder to become the CEO of an organization. Why is that so? Because these are critical dynamics. A lot of HR people and a lot of managers in other organizations don't even understand the organization that they work in. They don't understand the inner workings of the organization. What do we do as a business? Where are we situated within the sector or the industry that we play in? Who are our competitors? How do we make money? Where are we positioned in terms of this industry and sector? A lot of women don't take that. These are things that men do because they know that it is not just about being a man, it is also about demonstrating your missing 33%. So it is critical as women managers that we understand what we are doing at any given point in time. Make sure you know how things are done in your organization. Make sure you are close to what matters, not necessarily who matters. Make sure, yes, who matters is important, because you also need sponsors within the organization to push you in your career ladder. But let me tell you, what works at the end of the day is you're missing 33%. This is a hidden part of professional growth that we never talk about. It is very hidden. It takes very high-level C-suite executives. And because I teach corporate governance, I understand what it means to sit on the board. That is why I'm sharing this. You must identify it. What are you missing? Are you just in the organization as one of those staff, one of those professionals? What's your career growth dream? What's your career growth trajectory? You must understand this, because it is only then that you can be able to deliver results and achieve, your own career fulfillment. If that is the line that you want to go, it's okay. If you don't want to go to the top of your career line, it's also okay. Not everybody is going to get there, but I know that as women managers, one of the reasons why we are gathered here today is also to ensure that we are taking advantage of all that is available to us. The next thing that I said here is that you need to beware of stereotypes. As you embrace change, as you take charge in the new normal, beware of stereotypes and improve your gender dynamics. What are gender dynamics? Gender dynamics are sociocultural ideas about gender and the power relations. So there are certain things that we feel are not women related or that women should not do. Now, depending on how they are manifested, gender dynamics can reinforce or challenge existing norms. You need to be challenging certain existing norms that determine. So what I say to people is that gender dynamics is one of those things that, dismantles sociocultural ideas. So there's this unspoken idea, and this is not about being a feminist or anything. This is about the workplace, and I need us to understand it as by the workplace. There are certain positions in the society and in certain workplaces that say that, men can only do it, women can't do it, or women do it, men shouldn't do it, type of thing. It goes as low as when we have meetings, if there are 6 men and 1 woman in the room, and these are top managers, it just goes without saying sometimes that the woman can be the one to serve the tea. These are sociocultural ideas. I'm just giving this as an example. Now, this is very important because it helps you to position, particularly if you are dealing with identifying your missing 33, it helps you to understand that you should not have those kind of stereotyping. You shouldn't say, oh, this is a man's work, this is a woman's work. You must give opportunities to people. One of the things we normally say is that if your children go to engineering school, and in engineering school in the university, there are men and there are women. Why is it that there are certain things, certain engineering work that women should not be able to do when the woman comes out with a first-class engineering? So these are stereotypes, and we need to work against it, particularly because the world as it is now is no longer recognizing stereotypes and gender dynamics. So the world now recognizes skills, adaptability. That's what the world recognizes. And it's important that you understand how that works in organizations. The next thing that I said is understand that VUCA is the new normal. What is VUCA? I've explained it here. It means volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. The world is really volatile as it is now. Things are happening everywhere. There's so much uncertainty. Businesses are not clear. Businesses are not making investments. Investors are not investing because you don't want to lose money. There's a lot of complexity going on because sometimes certain things will work, certain things won't work, and then things are happening in such a quick succession. So VUCA is the new normal. As a manager, you are responsible for the lion's share of the decisions about the parameters that define how your organization can operate. So the increase in VUCA means that you must seek new orientations and take a fresh approach to management. The VUCA world challenges you to find your own way, and that's where adaptability comes. When things are not clear and volatile, how do I ensure that we still keep going? When there's uncertainty, what is the thing that I can ensure that the decisions that we take as management reinforces our strategic objectives and goals as an organization. The next thing I said here is that look at mistakes or failures as opportunities to grow. Because in this new normal, don't measure yourself against every other person. Some people have the ability to be more resilient than others. Some people have more grit than others. But resilience, you need to have resilience more than ever before. The ability to ensure that you keep returning, no matter how stretched out you may be. And I use the example of a rubber band. Sometimes you stretch out a rubber band, it will still snap back. So that's what resilience is. The ability to assess what happened or what has changed, own it, fix it, and then move on. Not to say, hey, I don't know what happened. Oh, there's nothing we can do about it. Oh, what are we going to do? This COVID-19. No, you need to think about what is the dynamics. How do we change what has happened and be able to create new solutions and move on very quickly. So the future of work and business in this new normal, learnability. Learnability. You must be learning. You must be learning to stay relevant. The knowledge you had from university is no longer relevant. The knowledge you had last year, 2019, trust me, is no longer relevant to you as a manager. Things are changing at the speed of light, and you need to keep up with it if you don't want to be left behind. Some of you will notice that children as young as 4 or 5 years old, what they know about technology, most of us don't know it. That's the speed that life is changing. So learnability. Remember I talked about adaptability. The next thing here is learnability. The ability to stay relevant. How are you staying relevant as a manager? The desire and capability to develop in-demand skills. What are the skills that are in demand? Do you have them? Are you employable for a long term? Or after a while, you will be asked to leave, and younger 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that can move, that are dynamic, that can bring change. What is your role in the Nigerian Institute of Management? What's changing? What are you doing that is different? What are you looking at as an organization, as an organization that brings managers together? What are you doing differently? Are you still, putting down the script that you had 5-10 years ago? It is no longer relevant. So Lean has to look at ways of ensuring relevance and ensuring that as an organization it stays relevant so that its members also can stay relevant and remain employable for a long time. So what are some of these skills that I've been shouting about? Digital upskilling. You have to be tech savvy. Some of us will say, I don't like technology. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've tried. No, you have to try harder. You have to be better at it. Technology is your lifesaver right now. You need to understand how things are done. You need to read documents on the go. You need to be able to edit documents on the go. It's not always you need to look for somebody. I read stories of 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds going back to school. And how are they going back to school? Online learning. They do their exams. They do all their studies online. Yes, because they see that it's an opportunity. Instead, some of them will not want to go to the classroom, go to the University of Lagos. No. But now they can sit in their house. Their children open the computer for them and they sit down and learn. So digital upskilling. The next thing that I said here is that understand the 5 functional areas of business. And we know this already. Management, operations, marketing, finance, accounting. You better have a good knowledge of these areas. It is so critical right now. The work that is out there is not work that is tailored to one space. People are now combining opportunities together. So if they are inviting you as a business development manager, they want you to understand operations, they want you to understand marketing, they want you to understand finance, they want you to understand accounting. That's the new normal. Upgrade your soft skills, communication skills. I talked about it at the beginning. You have to upgrade. You can't stay at the same place. You have to upgrade. You have to understand writing skills. Your writing skills have to be, you have to up the ante. People management skills and other skills in that regard. So Your soft skills, you need to go and upgrade them. Adaptability, I've spoken so much about adaptability. The ability to adapt, the ability to capitalize on change and use it for your own advantage. Emotional intelligence, understanding what is not being said and being able to work with that. Mental resilience, how far can you take pressure? How well can you work under pressure? How well are you doing under pressure? You need to be able to deal with that. You don't need, as a manager, you don't need to bring your personal issues to the table. We understand that we are all human beings, but trust me, in the new normal, there is really no time for that. And what organizations are trying to do is to remain as humane as possible, as much as the same time delivering on the value of the organization. So there's a fine balance. We want to deliver because 2020 has taken away our money. 2020 has taken away our businesses. How do we ensure that we remain for the long term? So nobody's going to have time for you. And there was traffic, and that's why I didn't send the documents. You send the documents inside the car as you are moving. Mental resilience and adaptability, very critical. A frugal mindset. We are all women. We know what Onions is speaking about now. So bring that to the organization. Everybody has to have a frugal mindset. You cannot be using organizations' property anyhow. You cannot be wasting paper. You cannot be wasting. No, there has to be a frugal mindset. Organizations are looking for managers who are going to help them save money. How can we save money? I founded a business that is 10 years old. This is our 11th year. And I've stepped down as CEO, and there's a new CEO. The board has put a new CEO. And one of the things that the rules that we gave the new CEO was to manage money. You know, you have to give a frugal mindset. Where can we cut? Where can we cut? So we are not spending so much when we are not making money. So as a manager, organizations are looking for people who are in this new normal, have a frugal mindset and can help the organization to save money and also to grow. Out of the box thinking and creativity. Stop thinking the same way. What is new? What's different about your thinking? How do I ensure that you are one manager that I can keep, even when I can't pay you, but I know I have to keep you? That's where out of the box thinking and creativity. Be creative about bringing solutions. Be creative about ideas. Be creative about the change that you bring to organization. You have to be efficient and productive. No sluggishness, no stories, no, oh, my daughter was sick today because of that. No. As women, we need to learn to manage our affairs, especially if you have grown to the level of a manager. Get as much help as you can. And I'm speaking to you as a woman who has lived through the nuances. Some of us say, oh, it's not as easy. Life itself is not easy. Life itself is not easy. So if life itself is not easy, then you need to understand that being a manager and growing in your role and being the best that you can be is not going to be easy. So you must bring efficiency and productivity to the table. Diversify your skill. Don't just be one-way traffic. Diversify your skill. Be jack of all trades, master of one. Know everything that needs to be known. Remember what I said here. Management, operations, marketing. What are the basics about marketing? If you are not a finance person, do you understand how the new IFRS works? Do you know what it means in terms of reporting? What does it mean for your own unit if you are not even finance? Do you understand the basics of accounting? You need to know those things. So be jack of all trades. If there is nothing wrong with knowing as many or as good portion of a lot of things, than being that when they ask you, I don't know. When they ask you this one, I've never heard of that. Oh. When they say Asana, what is the Asana? Asana is a productivity tool. Read up. You need to read up. You need to read up. You need to chew knowledge. The same way you chew food, you need to eat it up. Because, my sisters, that is the new normal. Or else you are going to be left behind. Finally, we have a new normal. As you move outside of your comfort zone, what was once the unknown and frightening becomes your new normal. So you need to deal with it. Because like I said, this new normal is our now normal. It's not new anymore. This is our now normal, and it may not go away for a long time. With these few words of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that indeed time has changed, life has changed, the world has changed. And we need to be on point as managers at any given point in time. Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ine. Now, we'll invite the president. We invite the president to take the question and answer. Do we have any? Do we have any?
I'm still here and can take questions. I can't see the question box, but if the questions are put in the chat box, then perhaps I can answer them from here. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. I can see your comments. Thank you very, very much. If you have questions, you can also type them there, and then I will try and take them. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can see all your comments. Thank you very much. Okay, so I just saw a question now, and the question says, as a leader, my boss told me once that my team's level of adaptability is dependent on me, the manager. Is this true? I will say to a large extent, yes. You as the manager, you are the front horse, if you know what I mean. You are the one that is the buck stops on your table. You report to your boss, but your team members report to you. So they need the guidance from you. They need the direction from you. So you need to be able to, if your team don't see you as an adaptive leader, they can also not be adaptive. So I have a full presentation on adaptability. And what it simply says to you is that as the team lead, you must show the example of adaptability. How have you been able to adapt to technology? So if your team members, for example, use technology very well, and you as the team lead cannot use technology very well, what does that say? So indeed, your boss is right to say that their level of adaptability depends on you as the manager. As the manager, how adaptive you are. How are you taking on new technology? How are you upgrading your skills? How are you ensuring that within the organization you are a top performer? Because that also reflects on your team, that the team is recognized to be the team that delivers. But it also comes from you. You take the glory at the level of your boss as the team lead, but your team, organization-wide, will also take the. So you as the leader, the level of your team's adaptability is very dependent on you, the manager. Okay, so someone said that I need to throw more light on the 33%. You need to work on the improvement of your career. Okay, as I said, the 33% is really about your ability to understand the different areas that happens within an organization. So a lot of people don't know that they do not have that 33%. That's why we call it the missing 33%. So a lot of managers do not realize that they cannot demonstrate business acumen. So what do you understand about business? What are the basic functionalities of business? What are the key areas of business? What is strategic management? How do you strategically deliver on the objectives and goals of the organization that you are working in? What is financial acumen? Do you understand finance? So the missing 33, breaking it into business, strategy, and finance, talks about the 5 functional areas of business. We talk about business, I'm not talking about just buying and selling. I'm also talking about an organization. So I see that we have a lot of police CSPs and police officers here. So as a police officer, do you understand the management of the police force? Do you understand your entire operational process? Understand how to account for your men and women? Do you understand what it means to manage a station, for instance, as the DPO? Do you even want to look at that as an example? How many women DPOs, if we are to break down completely across all the network of the police, how many are DPOs of stations? So I'm trying to break this down as low as to our own positions as possible. So you must be able to position yourself as a manager in the 5 key functional areas of business. That part of your knowledge that you have not taken note of. Now add technology to it, understanding the use of technology. You must be able to, you must be sellable. As a manager, your boss should be able to sell you as an outstanding performer. So you must be sellable. If you are not sellable as an employee, as a manager, you cannot grow. So that's it. So your personal development is dependent on you. It is not only when they send you on trainings. What are you doing on your own? You're a member of NIM. Are you taking advantage of all the webinars, the seminars, the workshops that NIM is doing? You don't want to pay for it? You have to pay for your own personal development, not only when the organization sends you. So you need to understand that this is very important. I hope I answered that question. Someone else has a question here that says, In the new normal, there are aspects of your job that you really have to do in your physical person. For example, physical inspections and audits. In your presentation, you did not touch the aspect of the use of PPE if you have to do such a job. I didn't touch about it because we're talking about the new normal. It's standard. It's now standard practice. You don't need to be told. You don't need to be told that in this new normal, it is standard that you have to use your personal protection equipment. You don't need to be told. So that's why I didn't touch on that. Someone said, you emphasize more on change and technology. How do we make our women embrace this change as they see it as time consuming? How is that interest reinforced? The truth of the matter is, if you don't, I'm not sure that the way the world is now, we still need to be begging women to understand what technology is. A lot of you, I do a lot of work for not-for-profit organizations. I volunteer a lot, and I sit on the board of a number of not-for-profit organizations. Just before the lockdown, between November and January, there were some things that we noticed in one of the organizations, and that had to do with very young children. Children as young as between the ages of 7 and 11 were watching porn on their mother's phones. Of course, children won't touch their father's phones as such, on their mother's phones. So they use the mother doesn't know what they are doing. They have those pages that they go to. So, and you are still telling me as a woman that you don't want to understand what technology is? Technology is time saving, it's not time consuming. Technology is time saving, it's not time consuming at all. So understanding that you need it is very, very important. And I think that women need to embrace technology as quickly as possible because it is so important. Someone asked here, can you explain VUCA in the workplace? VUCA is really, again, like I said, characterized by constant unknown, the things that you don't know, the things you know, that's the new normal facing us today. VUCA has been around for a long time, since the 1980s. It was a word that was coined by the US military because it described an unpredictable workplace. An unpredictable workplace. So in the workplace, for VUCA to work, employees or managers need to understand that they need to develop the capacity for change and the capacity for self-awareness. You have to challenge yourself. What are your strengths? So you do a SWOT analysis. How many of you have done a SWOT analysis, your own personal SWOT analysis? That is your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, your threats. Your own personal one, not an organizational one. How many of us have done that? You need to go and do that. What are my strengths? What can I do well? Add the fact that you don't know how to use technology well in your weakness. What are the opportunities? Oh, I can learn better. I can do better. I can be more on my feet, adapting as a professional woman manager. So these are the things that VUCA is saying to you. VUCA is saying that you must plan because we don't know what 2021 is going to bring. VUCA in the workplace says that businesses are facing a lot of crazy things out there. So how do we respond to those changes? VUCA in leadership says that you must consider all those things in all the various circumstances and know how to do it. VUCA says that the world is now digital. There's disruption in the society. VUCA says, how do we ensure employee well-being and performance in a period like this? Those are all the things that VUCA is saying. And I hope that I have explained that. There are quite a number of questions. I don't know how much time I have as well. Okay, so someone explained and said, they said data is consuming. Like I said, you must spend money to make money. You don't wait for money to fall on your laps. That's also the business mindset that you have to have as a manager. You spend money to make money, but at the same time, you are also very conscious of how much you're spending. So if your expenditure outweighs your income, then there's a problem. So you need to take that into consideration. Very, very important. Women are good. Someone said women are good at foot dragging and sometimes it's difficult to get them to adapt to the new normal, then leave them. Those women that are dragging their feet, the world is going to move so quickly, you will not be found in the workplace. Trust me. And it's not going to be 10 years time, it's going to be in the next 1 year or 2 years. So as a professional, you need to get out of your shell. You need to learn very quickly on your feet. You need to find those things that are important. Data, you need to use data to upgrade your skill. It's very, very important. I don't know, there are so many questions. I don't know how much time I have. Neil? Do I still have more time or?
This is Abimbola. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I want to thank you for this wonderful presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Unfortunately, we are running out of time because of the heat we had at the beginning. We started late, and we know that the next resource person is waiting.
Absolutely.
So I know that our ladies have learned a great deal from what you have said. We are going to send each and every one of them your presentation. And from there, if there are any questions they need to ask, and if they forward them to you, you gladly answer them. So
thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for having.
I want to appreciate you and thank you for the wonderful paper you gave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ram. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Using technology to create work-life integration. This will be taken by Professor Adenike Oshofisa, former Director, UI School of Business. I invite my colleague to read NIM, a distinguished fellow of the Institute. I invite Mrs. Gloria Odia to read her citation.
Lola Ostokiso was born on 11th March 1950 in Oshogo to Chief Honorable Josiah Orishabinu Adedipe, the Lema of Akure and Majekun of Oshogo, and Chief Mrs. Felicia Nahitola Adedipe, Nee Ogundari, the Akurajo of St. Paul Anglican Church, Amore Ekiti, both of whom are now late. She attended All Saints Primary School, Oshogo, 1958 to 59, and St. Stephen's Primary School, Akure, 1960 to 61. And for her secondary education, she went first to Irasaye Girls Grammar School in Akure, 1962 to 67, where she finished in first division and as the first student of the school to have a grade of distinction in mathematics. Adenike went to the Penn University of Ile-Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, and graduated with a second-class upper division honors degree in computer science and economics. She took a master's degree in computer science in 1979 from Georgia Institute of Technology in Atlanta, and a PhD degree from Obafemi Awolowo University in 1989 to become the first Nigerian woman to earn a PhD degree in computer science and the first female to have a PhD degree from the Faculty of Technology of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Adenike also worked at the University of Ibadan as a programmer between 1976 and 1978. She started her teaching career as lecturer too at the Polytechnic Ibadan and rose to the highest position of senior principal lecturer in 1993. Under her as head of computer studies, 1986 to 1995, the Polytechnic Ibadan got full accreditation for both ND and HND computer science programs for National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, thus becoming the first polytechnic in Nigeria to have such accreditation. She was appointed Foundation Director of the University of Ibadan, UISB, on August 1st, 2012, a position she held up till July 31st, 2018. Under her leadership, UISB became the first school of business to be accredited by National University Commission, NUC, ahead of other well-known business schools established before it in Nigeria. Professor Osofison was the pioneer president, Nigeria Women in Information Technology, IT, in 2003. In 2005, she became the first female president and chairman of Council, Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria, CPN, and held the post till June 2009. She is the current provost, College of Fellows, Nigeria Computer Society, as the first female provost. She is also a foundation member of Africa Academic Board of Systems Applications and Products in Data Processing, SAP, a member and board of trustee, Nigeria Internet Registration Association, NIRA. Professor Adenike Osofison has been the recipient of many national and international prizes, scholarships, and fellowship awards. Professor Adenike Osofison is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management, Chartered, fellow and life member, Nigerian Computer Society, NCS, life member, Nigeria Economic Society, member, Computer Society of IEEE, and member, Association of Computing Machinery, ACM. Professor Adenike Osofison was inducted into the Nigerian Women Hall of Fame on June 10, 2019, along with other 22 women, as the only one from the academia. She is currently working in Kola Daisy University, Ibadan, as a visiting professor. Distinguished ladies, I present to you Professor Adenike Osofison. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude to the to NIM for making it possible for me to deliver this lecture, and also to all the committee, most especially Kemi Parker. She had been on my neck for quite some time now. I've been asked to talk about a topic that I believe that is so germane at this point in time, using technology to create work-life integration. And whenever I'm giving a topic, I would like to look at the keywords and explain those keywords and phrases so that all of us will be on the same page. So I'm going to start with what is technology. Please, can my screen come up? My presentation, please. Can I have my presentation up? Hello?
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Okay, let me try and see what I can do from my own end. I thought all technical things will come from your own end, so that's why I didn't prepare to do that. But I will try and do that now. Let me go to share screen. Okay. So I'm going to start by telling you what the definition of technology I'm going to use in this presentation. That is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially for the industry. I'm not going to talk about the other two definitions. Actually, I gave three definitions of technology, but the one I'm going to use is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes in the industry. Then the other key phrase that is so germane for this presentation is work-life integration, because there's a difference between work-life integration and work-life balance. Work-life integration has something to do with creating synergies between your life. And when we look at life composes of 4 key areas: your work stroke your career, your home stroke your family, your community and connecting to that community, and as well as your personal well-being and your health. And I'm going to talk about the technologies that we can use for each of these areas. And I'm also going to talk about how now you can create those technologies how you can now use those technologies to create a work-life integration, so that you become a very balanced individual. And the kind of technology that we have, that's a problem. So the 4 areas, like I said, your work and career, your family and your home, your well-being and your health, and also connecting to your connecting. Those are 4 big circles. And intersection between those 4 circles is what we call work-life integration. And we see that depending on the stage you are in your life, part of a circle can be bigger in the work-life integration intersection. Your work career can be bigger at a particular point in time. Your well-being can be bigger at a particular point in time. Your community connecting can be bigger. Your home and family can be bigger. Like, let me use an example of a teenager. As far as a teenager is concerned, the work and career will be bigger because he or she has little or no family what do I call that? Responsibilities. But as soon as she gets married, now she has to then the home and family will become much bigger, will be bigger than what it was before. So we are going to talk about these 4 areas, and the circles, the intersection of these 4 areas is what I refer to as the work-life integration issue. So, and I'm going to give a lot of productive technologies that can assist you in making sure you have a balance in all of these things. And I'm going to start with the work-life integration. What are the products that you can have for to create this balance in your to integrate into for integration? I call one of them productivity tracker. And what do we mean by productivity tracker? These are software that can enable you to break your day into sections and keep you from distractions. Technology is very good. All of us use social media, but if you are not very, very careful, you can spend the whole of your day in social media doing nothing tangible. And but if you have a productivity tracker, it can tell you when you are supposed to have finished an assignment and prompt you that this assignment is still pending, you have not finished it, and because of that, whatever it is you are doing, you leave that thing to go and attend to what is important at that very point in time. And I'm not going to give you a brand name because my profession does not allow that for that to happen, because I'm not supposed to be seen by promoting one product over another product. I will just give you the generic names of those tools. It is your responsibility, like the former speaker said, to go and find out which one will suit you better. I will not give you any product name. My profession does not allow it, because I know some people will ask me, I should give examples of productivity trackers. I will do no such thing. But if you go and Google, you find a lot of productivity trackers, and the one that suits you best, you pick and choose. My profession does not allow me to promote any product over another. So that's why I'm not going to be mentioning a specific brand for you. Then for your career too, telework. If you cannot go to work, like the former speaker said, those companies that already allowed their workers to do telework, they did not suffer as much as those that did not allow their workers to do to have some form of telework. And for those who do not have web presence, I don't want to mention a particular store. It's a very popular store in Europe. That store almost went down because it had nothing. And it was a very big store that is always full with people because of the kind of products they offer. But because they had no web presence, this COVID-19 brought that particular company down. And I'm not even sure whether they're up again. And I remember a woman said something about husband not helping at home or whatever it is. My dear managers, when you have to leave home and your husband can do telework, if you look at the allow work from home, I deliberately chose a man holding a baby and working at home. So nobody can say I cannot work at home. Even husbands can look after children using telework. So telework and also women, there's no reason for you not to work again, because you can do your work from home. Look for a company that allows people to work from home. So you can also enhance your career using telework to advance in your career. Then I also have what we call collaboration tools, video conferences. Most of us, I'm sure, we are sitting at homes now and participating in this webinar. So as a woman, we do not have any excuse again to say we cannot participate in things, because we now have video conferencing, we have video calls, we have whiteboards that allow us to mark up pages and so on and so forth. So sitting down at home, you can participate in so many things, and you can learn so many things from home. So you can enhance your career using technology. Then you also have customer relation management software. And that's to organize your customers, because those of us are in buying and selling. You can organize your customer by the account type and serve them better by keeping accurate information about them and the history of their company, etc., etc. And we also have what to call cloud services. Yes, technology can be very expensive, but there are options available for you that you don't have to carry all the costs. You can have what we call cloud services. And there are three types: software as a service, a platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Software as a service, that if you don't have money to buy all those expensive softwares, you can get hold of them from the cloud, and you can make use of them adequately wherever you are. And you can also add what we call infrastructure as a service. You don't have to buy all the gadgets that you need. Some of those gadgets can be made available to you on the cloud. Platform as a service is a combination of software as a service and infrastructure as a service. You determine which one you can afford and which one you cannot afford. The ones you cannot afford, please go and rent them on the cloud, and you'll be up and running. And when it comes to career development, there are so many models available for you, and there are so many software available that can create your future for you. What is it that you want to do in future? It can make you to know your value. It can make you to explore your options and also to plan your next line of action. All those software, they're available on the web for you to use on the fly. So you don't have to carry so many, you can cut down your cost and you can have the best from the web. That's with respect to career. Remember, there are 4 circles: your career, your home, you have your career, your home. If you remember the 4th circle, your career, work, career, home, community, and personal well-being. The technology is always there for you. In respect with home and family, there are software that can enable you to balance your work and finance properly. There are technologies there for you for communicating with every member of your family. There are technologies for you to enhance your education of your children, and so on and so forth. Even your development, there are careers, and I'm going to discuss each and every one of them one by one. And even entertainment, because it's not only work alone, it's not only communication alone, it's not only education alone. Because it said when you do not relax, then there's also a problem. Even there are things for you for entertainment. For your home and family work, there are so many digital technology available. Your email, your remote access connection can make life more flexible for you. You can do things at your own leisure and at your own time. I will give you an example of what happened to me. I had to travel with my family, and I had a very, very important meeting that I had to attend in Nigeria, and we travel abroad. You will not be surprised. I follow my grandchildren. I was in a shopping mall and I was attending to a very, very important meeting. What I did was to have my connection and my iPhone. When it is time for me to speak, I will just go to a corner and speak. When I'm not the one speaking, I hold my grandchildren's hand, and we go about. Many people did not know what I was doing. A lot of people even thought I was listening to music, whereas I was balancing my home with my family work due to technology. At the end of the meeting, when I told my people, I said, do you know where I am? I mentioned the name of the shopping mall in America, and everybody started laughing. That's where I did everything. What I was able to do, I was able to integrate my family life into my work, into my workplace. So all these things are available for us. Even your finances, you can do all your shopping online. You can pay your bills online. So you don't have to be going from one place to the other. Nigerian banks, during this COVID-19, Nigerian banks are still packed full. Why? Because most of us, we still go to the bank to do our transactions. It is no longer necessary for us to do that. You can sit down at home, plan your finances, plan your shopping, and even your budget, and you can keep track of all your family schedules while you are at home. Then communication is very, very important for us to communicate as a family. I'm sure most people now have what called, like I said, I don't want to mention any product name, where we have family chat box that we send information to on daily basis. And parents can also check on their children throughout the time. I remember a particular time when I saw my daughter on Facebook. She was still in school, and she said she was feeling lonely and depressed. You know, the next thing I did, because she was in a boarding house, immediately I read that thing on her Facebook. I just sent the driver to go and bring her home. And when she got to, I said, what? I said, I saw you on Facebook looking depressed and saying things. You know, our children, there's something they cannot put on Facebook. That's why I brought you home. Before somebody else decide to go and bring you home. A lot of these things, because parents, we believe that technology is not for us. This technology is for us because we can keep track of our children, because there's nothing they cannot put on the web. And by reading what they put on the web, you can know exactly what is happening to them. So parents, communication with your family using technology is very, very important, even for you to be able to have a balance, what to call the work-life integration properly. I couldn't go, but I sent my driver to go and bring her, and she came home, and all of us were very happy. So parents, let us use technology, emails, social networks, blogs, to share pictures, to share families' milestone, so that we all of us will remain as a family. We know the struggles of our children. Even some of us can watch films with our children on a platform, and all of us can have a good laugh. We can, the kind of film that we watch when we were growing up and the kinds of the ones they watch now, we compare, do some form of comparison, and we are going to have a good laugh. Some of the music that were very important to us, like My Boy Lollipop, they don't know things like that. And with their own that they sing today, when we sing all those things together as a family, we don't have to be in the same place, in the same physical environment. We can be in a various homes, and we can share all of these things together as a family. Even grandparents too can even come into play with it. Like I said, it was my grandchildren that I took to the shopping mall, and I was still participating in my meeting back in Nigeria. Then education. Mothers, there is no reason for any woman now to say she cannot get educated. That's not, that one has gone, because we have everything on the on the web for us. I know most of us, some of us will say we don't have money to buy laptops, but I'm sure that most of us will have phones. All we need to do is to buy a phone that can carry some of these things that we have. And I'm sure as mothers, instead of buying 50,000 naira worth of lace, please go and buy 4,000 naira of Ankara. So by the time you buy 4,000 of Ankara instead of 50,000 lace, how much have you saved? 96,000 naira. Go and use that 96,000 naira to invest in technology that will make you to be abreast of issues in the world, so that you can even educate yourself, you can know what is going on, and you don't have to go into a physical mortar classroom. There are classrooms available 24/7 now without leaving your home. And like the former speaker said, it is very, very important for us women now to be abreast of all things. And it's very important for us not to say, because I'm a woman, I cannot do this. Because I'm a woman, I cannot do that. Let me tell you, when I became chairman of council of my profession, Computer Professional Education Council, we were 26, and I was the only woman, and I was their chairman. But what I did, when I looked at myself, because women will not come on board, when I looked at what happened, I decided to bring in, I looked at the edit that set up the council. And the edit said that if there's a kind of deficiency, the chairman can bring in 2 people to do what? To ameliorate that deficiency. So I then decided to bring 2 more women into the council, making 3 or 4. Then I also begged the Minister of Education to please, out of the 4 people is going to send to council, you should please send me more women, no? And 1 woman was sent. So eventually we became 7 women. But I will tell you, after I left office, a man took over after me. But did you know who took over after the man? One of the 2 women I brought in. Because we women, we also must begin to do what? Encourage each other to take on position, encourage each other. Even when I asked the woman to come and join the council, say, hey, my sis, what do I know? I said, you will learn. And eventually she became the chairman after the person that succeeded me. So please, women, we must not allow anything to debar us from reaching the top. Educational wise, we have so many things online. You can pursue college degrees, you can pursue even things that will enhance your life. I've just retired now as a professor of computer science. I've told myself there are so many things I need to learn that will not have anything to do with computer science. Some of you may laugh. I'm going to learn sewing because I love good clothes and I love to wear nice dresses. I'm going to go and learn sewing, and I don't have to leave my home to learn the sewing. I can learn sewing through what you call virtual reality. So education with respect to this new normal is something that is an ongoing. It's something that we can do until we breathe our last breath. So there's no reason for anybody. Then for development, even for children, there are e-books, there are e-games, there are so many things that you can use for self-development in the family. And games, even games do teach our children a lot of skills, like spelling skills, like even a persistent skill, competition skill, motivation skills. There are so many technologies how to do research, all of those things make us to learn all of those things. Entertainment. I hope people can still hear me. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me, okay. And we find that when parents play all these games with their children, James Bond, all of those things, you will now develop a bond with your children, your teenage children. You'll be able to understand where they are coming from, because most of us, we don't know where our children are coming from. We just think that what we did is exactly what they are supposed to be doing. No, that's why I said, even with music that we enjoyed and the music they enjoy, when all of us listen to each other's music, when all of us listen to each other's entertainment, we will begin to understand each other better, even in the homes. And technology has made that very possible for us to do. Then we also have what to call, so I'm going to leave the entertainment and I'm going to go to well, I've given the summary of the internet is there for you. You have Facebook, you have Skype, you have WhatsApp, you have a Go Meeting, so many technologies that we can use to communicate. Then another thing we need to balance is our well-being and our health. It is very, very important. Today, we have so much technology that can help us to reduce our stress level, to tell us when we are being stressful, and to tell us the kind of things that we need to do. Yes, technology can be very stressful, but at the same time, technology can promote your well-being. There are so many examples of well-being tools: wearable technology, flexible working hours, virtual general practitioner services. I wear a tracker all the time. And what does that tracker, what does it tell me? My heartbeat. It tells me about my heartbeat, my sugar level, the amount of exercise that I need to do per day. And I do all of those things. I wear them all the time. If you can see me on the night, I have it on. I set a target for myself. I'm 70 years old. I turned 70 this year. And I set a target that I must take at least 10,000 steps every day. And that's exactly what I do. So when I move around, people tell me, you don't look like a 70-year-old. You are too, even a teenager cannot even walk as fast as you do. It's because of technology that I've used to train myself on a daily basis. So there are wearable technologies that can assist you in your well-being. There are also technologies for flexible working hours, where we have said all of those things where we have an example of flexible working hours. Like, you don't have to be at work 24/7. You can have if there's a kind of telework in your place, and your work, you are given an assignment to do. I think the most important thing for your guy at the top, I would say in Nigeria, is to get the work done. It's not for you to be glued to your television, to your computer for 8 hours a day. If you know your productivity, the time when you are very more productive, use those hours to do productive work. Anybody wants me to come and lecture, that's why I don't take lectures between 1 and 3, because I know I'm at my lowest ebb between 1 and 3. 8 o'clock lectures, I are done. 8 to 12, then 4 to 8. I know I'm very productive. And you can do your work schedule according to that time when you are productive, so that you will not be sleeping most of the time when you're supposed to be working. And using technology technology can create a flexible working hours for you. That can even be drinking your tea like the fellow and you are still working. And if you look at what is happening, it's a kitchen. The woman is in the kitchen. She's drinking tea and she's working. And I'm sure she's very productive because she's restful. There's no hassle. There's nobody, I don't know, ringing bell or whatever. Flexible working arrangement gadgets, they are all available for us to use. Then even going to the hospital, checking on your health. We now have what to call virtual general practitioners. Within your home, you can consult them on 24/7 so that you can be more productive. I don't like going to the hospitals because now I don't have to go to the hospital. You will not believe it. There are gadgets today that when I'm speaking to my GP and I touch my screen, my GP touches the screen, we can feel each other's temperature. That is how far technology has gone today. So even going to the hospital, taking care of yourself, technology has made that one very, very possible. And I have a picture of virtual GPs, general practitioners in action. You can see each other, you can feel each other's temperature, and you can tell, and they can give you any prescriptions which you want to give to without going to the hospital. And so, and also, like I said, we also have what we call health sensors that tells you when your facial muscle, your temperature, when you are frowning too much. And in response, even when we are in a closed environment, you can have sensors that can say the light is too bright. You know what the sensor will do? It will adjust the lighting to the brightness that is required. When you need more brightness, it will readjust. Even to the point of temperature, it will increase the temperature. Even the airflow, even to the point that if the place is getting too stuffy, the sensors can put in some kind of scent that makes the air to become fresh, so that it will bring everybody into a state of attention. So what we refer to as room health sensors. If you are having this workshop in NIM, and all of us are seated in the dome, if NIM have what to call room health sensors, that's exactly what it can do. Adjust the temperature by itself, adjust the odor by itself, and making sure that people are not frowning, people are not falling asleep. When you find that people are falling asleep, it knows what to do to make sure that people get woken up and pay attention. Then community, that's what we call community life. You cannot be allied to yourself. And there are so many software available that can get you connected at fingertips to anybody you want to get connected to, because community life is part of work-life integration. Work-life integration is not about work alone. Work-life integration is about the family, it's about your health, it's about your community, and it's also about your career. That's the mistake people believe. When we talk about work-life, people believe it's about career alone. No, it is about your career, it's about your family, it is about your health, and it's also about your community. And technologies that are now available that can help you to create a balance between all of those things. And that balance is a balance that we call synergy. And when you talk about synergy is 2 + 2 = 5, not 2 + 2 = 4. It gives you much more than what is expected. Even today, you can go to any town. I know in Lagos now, you have GPS in Lagos. If I live in Ibadan and I want to go and visit any of my friends, I don't need to know their house. All I need to know is what to have their address. I put on my GPS and it tells me turn left, turn right. It will even tell me there's so much traffic on this road. Take this road. What is that doing for you? Reducing your stress. So instead of finding yourself in a go slow, you avoid the go slow, and it takes you to the doorstep, the front of the house where you are going. When you get to say stop, you are there and you have never been to that place before. That is exactly what technology can do for you. So you cannot say, I can't visit you because I don't know your house. that excuse is no longer attainable. Even going abroad, you don't have to know anywhere. All you need is your technology, your phone. You can install all those software on your phone, and I'm sure all of us sit there, we all have phones. If your phones cannot do some of these things we are talking about, please, next time you want to buy a list, go and buy Ankara or go and buy Ajire, and use the rest to go and buy a very good phone for yourself that have all of these things. So how can this technology help you to establish work-life relation? It can give you a flexible structure. You have efficient tools and applications. It can make you to get to stay connected. It can make you to stay organized, and it can make you to do what? To stay focused. Those are all the things that technology can do for you. I'm not going to go through it because I don't know how much time I have left. So there are efficient tools for you to use. There are efficient tools for you to stay connected. There are efficient tools for you to stay organized. There are also efficient tools for you to stay focused. When you're organized, you are focused, you're organized, you are focused, you are even relaxed. What else do you want? You are going to have a life, a productive work-life integration for you. And I've given you the steps for successful program. The steps that establish a need, work-life strategy. The first speaker has spoken to us about focal. All of us must be ready to work in a focal environment. There's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing anybody can do. You just must be ready to work in a focal environment. Then you must also be able to assess business needs and the employer's work-life needs. Those are for the employers. NIM, you must be able to assess your employer's work-life needs. Don't expect everybody now, after this COVID-19, to come to work 8 to 4. It is no longer necessary. Some of your workers can work from home, and they will be more productive. So design a work-life program for every worker that will suit them. Then implement work-life programs for all your workers. And as you do that, you must also evaluate their work-life program. There's no need for somebody like, if you want me to work in 9 a.m., please, if you want me to work very well, don't give me any work to do between 1 and 3. Because I know myself, between 1 and 3, I'm sleepy, and sometimes I get irritated. And when you now look at, and there will be people who will like to work between 1 and 3. So the business environment must look for the work-life needs of each of the of their workers. And as you design that one, you must also go through the form of evaluation, because it's very, very important, because you must change. Change is something, the only thing that is permanent in life. If there's anything permanent in life, it is change. And we need to change all the time. We need to attract and retain talent. We need to raise the morale and increase productivity of our workers. We also need to save money on estate. The last presenter said something about rent now. A lot of people are moving out of their offices. Why? Because they found out that they don't longer need the mortar and brick office anymore. So NIM, instead of investing on mortar and brick offices, please begin to invest in virtual offices. And you can by doing that, you are going to reduce health costs. Flexible environment for your workers to work in. It increase commitment. Then you will reduce burnout of people, because a lot of people come to office doing yo-yo, moving up and down, doing nothing. At the end of the day, if they sit down to say, what is it that I've achieved today? You cannot point to anything, and yet they are burnout because they keep on moving from one floor to another floor, to another floor, to another floor. Be an employer of choice and stay ahead of competition. Those are very, very important. Well, what I did was to explain each of those things that I mentioned because of time. They're in the note for all of us to go through. Then that integration process has to do with 3 people. The organization itself, like NIM, the supervisors or the directors working in NIM, and the employees of NIM. And all of us have different roles to play. When we talk about the organization, now we are talking about NIM Council that sets the policy, etc. When we are talking about supervisors, the registrar is the chief supervisor, and the registrar also has supervisors under him. under him. Then we also have the employees, and each one of us will have our role. The organization must develop and communicate a work-life strategy suitable for its business and its employee. Maybe it's not for NIM Council to say now, what are the things that need to change in NIM now? Because we are now in the VUCA environment. And the council must come out with a work-life program available to all its employees. And it must put in place a sound performance management system that allows you to evaluate all its employees objectively and train the supervisors to support a work-life strategy. Then the supervisors, they must support the organization's work-life strategy, help tailor an employee's flexible arrangement in consultation with the employee and all other relevant departments in the organization, evaluate employees' performance by outcome and deliverables rather than ask they clocked in that this employee is always regular. He comes in at 8 o'clock and he doesn't leave the office until 5 p.m. But what contribution did he or she make between the 8 o'clock and the 5 p.m. that he was in the office? Whereas another employee, if you have a work flexible time, can clock in at 10 o'clock and leave at 12, and that person may be more productive than the one that clocked in at 8 a.m. and left at 5 p.m. So it's not the time you clock in and you clock out that is important now, but your physical presence in the office. It is not what is important now in this new environment. It is what you bring into the system. Then the role of the employee. They must familiarize themselves with the organization work-life program. I like what the last speaker said about the 33% that we don't know. Most people don't know the organizations well, and that is the truth. And that is why most people do not rise to the top. And yet they will think that it's one village witch that is after them. It's because they don't know their environment where they're working. Work with their immediate supervisor to design a flexible work arrangement and other work-life programs that do not compromise the business outcome, and engage themselves in their work and add value. Add value. That's very, very important. An employee must always add value to the organization. And I have my conclusion. Work-life integration is important because life stressors will continue to increase as expectations and choices compel people to seek the best in life. Core values and life goals plus skill set. The last speaker also spoke about skill set. It's a skill set now that will sell you today. It's not your degree. You can have 10 PhDs. You can have DSC and all those things. But your skill set is what will enable you to engage in a work-life integration environment, balancing living and working efficiently and effectively. Finding the right balance between the four circles of home and family, work and career, your well-being and health, and your community connecting is what may look overwhelming. But with the right digital technology in place, you will find that you will make it. That even you will make it better in this VUCA environment than in the last environment you are. Anybody with a right skill set will always make it. Whether some people are losing job, whatever is happening left and right and center, if you have the correct skill set, you will excel. I can tell you that. You don't even need to be employed by anybody. Your skill set will sell you. People can employ you from America, here right now in Nigeria. People can employ you. I like what the last speaker said. She said she's a lecturer, I think in Austria. She's in Nigeria now. What do you think, Seller? It's her skill set that made it possible for her to work in Austria. So your skill set is very, very important today. And you must be able to measure your personal, professional life seamlessly so that you make better use of your precious time. And I will use the last slide because a lot of people are going to ask me what is the difference between work balance and whatever it is. I will use my last slide. Work-life balance. Work-life balance said, strictly at 2 o'clock, I must go and pick my child from school if I'm a parent. But work-life integration said, I can bring my child to work after school as a parent. Work-life balance says, you must leave work at 6 p.m. and switch off your work phone so you are no longer available. Flexible work-life integration said, flexible to leave earlier. You don't have to stay till 6 p.m. But you can still continue to support your work even while you're away. Then work-life balance says, using your long break to visit your child at a daycare center. Life integration says you can even bring your child to work. It's not going to disturb you. Then the last one says, offering employee a daily free lunch. Work-life integration says, let the employee choose between a free lunch benefit or equivalent towards vacation expenses. So those are the two. There's a difference between work-life balance and work-life integration. For the focal environment, it is work-life integration that we need, not work-life balance. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hello, you're on, man.
I hope I was not. I'm on. I finished. That's why I said thank you for the list. That's why I was wondering were people listening to me? Was I on all the time, or did I get cut off at a particular point in time?
No, you were on all through, and the head office will take off from here.
Okay,
You just
all
send
right.
us for questions.
Yeah, no problem.
If you have questions, please, you can send it on the chat box so that the professor can answer you. You can type in your questions on the chat box or on the Q&A section.
You can remove the slide, please, so that
Still waiting for your questions. Thank you for the positive feedback. Yes, Prof, I think there are some questions for you.
okay. Yeah, okay.
I think how can we use technology to be scalable as a manager?
How can we use? I can't find that question here. Well, I can't find any question on my own. Let me go back to the question and answer. So
No,
what's the question?
On the chat.
On the chat. On the chat. Oh, okay. I was looking. I went to the. So let me go to the chat. Okay, chat box. Okay. You want to run through the slide once more? Well, that depends on NIMO. And I think NIM should be able to send the slide to everybody because NIM already has a slide with them. And is it possible to do what? I can't find this one on my own chart too. I will on different thing, on different chart. I joined late. Please, is it possible to run through the slide once more? That's the only way. I think it's possible to run through the slides once more. I'll go to the sharing now. But I think the best thing, is for you to get the slide. Send your email. If you send me your email address, I can send the slide to you myself instead of running through the slide once more. How can we use digital technology to be sellable? As a manager. You need to create a website now, and all the products you sell, put them on the slide. That's what you do. Even my wife that is living here, that is with me now, she's a graduate, but she has also learned tailoring, and she has also learned shoe and bag making. She has a site where she puts all the things that she can do, and a lot of people contact her, and she has been doing trainings for a lot of people. Just you need your presence on the web is very, very important. It's very important for you to be on the web. So yes, it's very good. Everybody, even the kind of thing I even want to do, I will tell you. Those, because I love Nigerian print a lot. I want to organize those women in Toku selling adire and have a website for all of them and put their wares so that people can buy from them directly. Instead of paying them 500 naira, people can be paying them $50 and they can be making cool money. That's going to be my next project. Organize those petty traders who do very good work. Have a website for them. Put all their wares on the site and how they can be doing buy and selling and be earning cool money, cool dollar instead of 200 naira, 500 naira. Any other question? I can't find any question again.
These are the only questions.
So for the person who needs the slide, if you give me your email address or send your email address to NIM, I'm sure they will send it to you because all the slides are with them.
So we share it with all participants.
Okay, thank you very much. And I've tried as much as possible to put in a lot of words in my slide as a teacher, so that when you read, it's like you read me speaking, so you can be able to follow. So I made the slide very, very detailed. And if you have any questions, you want to get in touch with me, you can I can put my email address in the chat box. Where is the chat box now? So I can put my email address, or you can get my email address from NIM. So you can get in touch with them. And any one of you interested in creating a website for low-skilled job, let me know.
So in the absence of questions, I believe we are all satisfied with Professor's presentation. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming. We really appreciate you. And it is our prayer that whenever we call you, should.
Oh, somebody said, Mark, can you throw more light on using technology to put in place sound performance management? Can you throw more light to put in place sound performance management system? You see, sound performance management systems, okay, using technology. There are so many technologies available for you that you can use in managing your whatever it is you want to manage. That question looks, if you tell me precisely where you really want that to happen, then I'll be able to tell you precisely what you need. But whatever it is, let me tell you what you need to do. The secret that I also see you. Just go to any of those search engines. I don't want to mention any particular search engine now. Type anything you want. How to do so and so in that particular search engine. Okay, I would mention some search engines. Yahoo, Google, all of those things. Just type those things. You will be amazed the amount of information that you will get. You see, that what we need to do is to have an open mind now. What we need to do is to make sure that we want to learn until we breathe our last breath. Keep on learning, keep on learning, keep on learning. When you see me, even in any place, I cannot keep still. I have to be reading one thing or the other. If I'm on the queue, you find me reading one thing or the other, because learning is something that we need to continue to do for life. And technology has made learning so easy. Your phone, you can download so many things in your phone. Now you can read from your phone. If you have money to buy tablet, you can download a lot of information and you can read from your tablet. So learning, having an open mind, telling yourself that anything your mind can think of is achievable. And that is the truth. Anything your mind can think about, that thing is achievable, no matter how crazy that thing looks like. No matter how crazy. And that's why in my class, I ask my students, ask me any question, no matter how stupid you think the question is. Out of stupidity, we come out something. So anything you can think of, no matter how crazy that thing is, just write it down so that you not lose it, because that's another problem. If anything comes to your mind and you just laugh, next minute you can forget it. Anything that comes to your mind, just write that thing down. Go to any of those search engines. That thing that comes to your mind, type it in the search engine. You will be amazed the amount of information you will get about that particular crazy thing that you think is crazy.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Prof. We really appreciate your presence. Without further waste of time, I would like to bring in the last speaker for this session, Mr. Usure Uko. Mr. Usure Uko is a certified business and finance coach, writer, entrepreneur, and author of 13 books on personal finance, including Practical Steps to Financial Freedom and Independence and Retire on Your Own Terms. He runs a column in Punch and Daily Trust newspapers, also writes for Leadership and Style and Today's Lifeline magazines, and blogs at financialfreedominspiration.com. As an inspirational personal finance blog, he is the CEO of Galleria Media Limited and the Chief Operating Officer of Apex Coaching Limited. He is a training coordinator of Citadel Business Academy and the Economic Empowerment Unit of the Citadel Global Community Church, formerly Lateran Assembly. A 1989 graduate of Mechanical Engineering of the University of Benin, he worked with NNPC for 15 years before moving to Chevron, Nigeria, where he worked for 7 years before resigning as Organizational Capacity Coordinator in 2014. Mr. Usure has written so many books like Practical Steps to Financial Freedom and Independence, Financial Independence for Employees, Retire on Your Own Terms, How to Avoid Living Under Financial Pressure, A Simple Guide to Investing in the Money Market, A Parent's Guide to Teaching Children About Money, 101 Common Money Mistakes to Avoid, Before You Trade Forex, Before You Invest in Cryptocurrency, How to Manage Your Money Better, How to Invest in Bonds, How to Invest in Treasury Bills, and Uncle Ben's Money Lessons. Distinguished ladies, welcome Mr. Usure Uko. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen here present. I have 30 minutes and 15 slides, so I will just go right straight to it. And I will share my screen. One moment. Okay, so financial money management in times like this. And like I said, I have 30 minutes, so I'll move fast. So here we are in the middle of a pandemic. I'm not going to spend time discussing what has changed. The previous two speakers have not just I believe if other speakers can mute, we are trying to. So we are in the middle of a new normal, and things may never go back to the way we used to know it. One day COVID-19 will pass, but after it has passed, we may not go back to the way we did things in early 2020. Like Rav Waldo Emerson said, a mind once expanded can never shift back to its original direction. So the reality check for us is that things, they will not always remain the same. COVID-19 has brought home the reality that your job is not permanent. You can lose your job, either through a layoff or like during the pandemic, if you work in a private school, don't get salary for months, or you will have salary or salary. So it brings home the point that every individual needs multiple sources of income. That is very, very critical. No matter how good your current income is, it's very risky to rely on only one source of income. We are talking about change, we are talking about work-life balance. Your work is just one piece of your life. You need to have other pieces of your life in balance so that when you are working, your mind is focused on work. No financial anxiety or pressure or premature white hair because of financial challenges. Now, one of the outcomes of the new normal is that money market rates have dropped. Those that had fixed money portfolio, fixed deposits, treasury bills, different types of investments, money market, the rates have dropped. So much so that people are asking, do we stay or do we move? Where do we move to? And that's one of the things I want to address in this presentation. Being better educated and informed so that we can make better decisions. How do you manage your money in times of change so that your lifestyle is insulated from financial turbulence? There are some things that would never change. Laws and principles. And one of them is the laws of personal finance. It remains the same. A lot of people miss it. Spend less than you earn. No matter who you are, you can be Mark Zuckerberg. If you spend more than your income, if something happens to your primary income, so more critical ever that I'm sorry, I'm still having echo. Please can you mute? the fundamental laws will not change. And it's important that we align ourselves with sound financial management principles. And the changes that we are experiencing, there are adaptations we need to have to remain relevant. For example, the money market has gone down to the range of 1%, 2%. What do? You were receiving 12%, you were receiving 10%. Now it's down to 1%, 2%. What do you do? That's one of the questions I hope to answer in this presentation and other questions. And the makeup of a solid financial structure has not changed. For most personal finances, there are two structures that you have to build. One is financial security plan, which is the foundation, and then financial growth. Financial security is like insurance. You have a car. You want to be sure that no matter what happens, even if your car is a write-off, you get back to having a car. So financial security planning is about investing in fixed income securities. That's where the money market came in. Fixed deposits, treasury bills, commercial paper, bonds, annuities, and all those good stuff. Now we have a situation where the rates are so low. So what do? But that does not mean that you should. What a lot of people are doing is move money from their financial security plan, which are safe, and the risk is almost zero, and move to risky scenarios, which can backfire. It's important that you maintain your structure. That means hold on to your financial security plan, but move your investment from low interest yielding ones to higher ones, instead of moving out completely. So, for example, in the money market, you have fixed deposits that are around less than 1%. You have treasury bills, which is like 1 to 2% now. But you also have commercial paper that gives you up to 7% or more, depending. And then we have mutual funds, which still give up to 5-6%. And we have bonds, which we are going to discuss a bit in detail, which gives you more than 5%. So you are better off moving your money within a safe environment. It's like there is a riot like happened some weeks ago. There's a crowd of hoodlums outside and they are holding machetes. And you are staying in a house that has a bunker. It's better for you to go down to your bunker and lock your steel door and wait for help to come than try to come out of the house and try to pass through the hoodlums to safety. That is the illustration I want to give in terms of financial security and financial growth. Instead of moving your money away from safety, you are safe where you are. You're in a bunker. Even the White House has a bunker. You are in a bunker. Stay there. But move your money within the safety confines of that bunker, still within the money market. Move from treasury bills, go to bonds, go to commercial papers and other instruments. Instead of moving out to, you want to go and put in stocks, you want to invest in Forex, there's one scheme, there's that scheme, and you move from fry pan to fire. The reality is that you need both plans. It's not an either or, it's both. It's like in football, which I love to give that analogy. I don't put the slide here, but I think a lot of us can relate with that, football wives. You have the goalkeeper, you have the defense, you have the midfielder and attack. When you want to score, your attackers move forward and maybe the midfield. Everybody doesn't move forward. You don't allow your defense to cross the middle line in the name of scoring. Why? Because there can be a counter attack. And then your goalkeeper is now facing 3 attackers. And if they play the ball well without offside rule, they'll score because your defenders are off position. So you need to better manage your financial security plan. And you also need to get better in growing your money. And when you grow your money, still pull some back into the financial security plan. We are talking technology. There are digital and online models. There are so many things that you can do now. You don't need to go to the banking hall to do transactions with your bank. There are investments that you can put your money in, safe investments that are outside your geographical location. So you are no longer tied to the company must be in Lagos or it must be in Nigeria. So you have more options based on the fact that online there are no borders. Just do your due diligence, and this is a sound investment and the risk is very low. You move your money. And then this is I think the last or so treasury bills. No, this is September. This is when I prepared this slide. The rates have gone down, like I said before, but there are also instruments that you can move into. So you need to become more aware. You need to keep learning. You need to grow your skill in the area of managing your money. And you have options. I keep repeating the fact that you don't move money away from a safe investment into an unsafe one simply because you want greater returns. You have to respect the structure. Grow your financial security plan within the financial security plan, and grow your financial growth plan within the financial growth plan. So I've mentioned the money market. You can move from fixed deposits to commercial papers. The next slide, I'm going to talk about bonds. Bonds give higher yields. As you can see, is above 5%. And I'm going to spend a bit of time here because investing in bonds is not the same as investing in treasury bills. In treasury bills, you pay the face value. If you are buying 10 million treasury bills, you pay 10 million. The only other thing you pay is the commission and VAT and custodian fees and blah, blah, blah. These are small fees, well, depending on the volume of the transaction. But bonds is a different kettle of fish. In treasury bills, in the secondary market, if you are buying treasury bills, you are only looking at the interest rate. Does it favor you? But when you enter bonds, the interest rate is fixed. I don't know if you can see the screen well. You will see that I have 4 bonds on the screen. The first one is 12.5% FGN January 2026. That means this bond pays out 12.5% per annum and matures January 2026. The next one matures March 2035. The next one July 2045. The next one is March 2050. Bonds have longer tenure, 10 years, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years. And it works out better for you because you don't need to come back to the market every month, every year, I mean. If you buy a 15-year bond, the rate does not change for 15 years. So what that allows you to do is that you can face other things with your life. You can do other things and the bond is running. But with treasury bills, every 1 year, if you invested in 364 days, you get an alert, here's your money back, and then you go back to the market. Maybe you entered at 12% and you come back again, it's now 6%. So you have this yo-yo. But bonds are stable and you can sell it anytime, which I'm going to explain. So with bonds, the coupon rate is fixed. What you are paying for is the premium. And let me explain. With bonds, you can only pay the face value during the first issue. With treasury bills, every issue is a first issue. But with bonds, when it is issued like stocks, it gets listed in the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And the price starts to fluctuate based on demand and supply. Imagine a bond of 12.5% coming to the market. There will be a rush because the rates are so low, people are going to pay higher to take that position. Imagine it's you. You have something that is paying you 12.5% and you're coming to the market. Bonds are issued in units of 100 naira each, known as par value. When it is listed, then this price goes up and down. So you are not going to get it 100 naira in the market. So imagine Tope bought 10 million bonds. This first one, let's use the illustration of the first bond, 15.5% FGN, January 2026. Tope bought it when it was issued, fresh issue. For whatever reason she wants to sell. So she tells her broker, I want to sell. In the same broking house, Hassan wants to buy, told the broker, please, if a bond comes up for sale, let me know. So the broker calls Hassan. There's a bond in the market now, 10 million. The owner, he wants to sell it at 180 naira per unit. Remember, she bought it at 100 naira at par value when it was issued. So now the 10 million bond that Tope paid 100 naira for and bought 10 million worth, Hassan is going to pay the same at 180, which means 18 million. So if Hassan agrees, the transaction is concluded. The 10 million is the face value of the bond. That is what the CBN knows that Tope lent to the federal government. And the coupon is paid based on 10 million, which is 12.5%. Per annum, that is 1.25%. Bonds are paid twice a year, every 6 months. So 12.5% every 6 months, that is about 625,000 naira. But to take Tope's position, Hassan had to pay 18 million. That means 8 million extra. That 8 million is called premium. The reason the bond price is going up is because rates are dropping. When rates are going up, she bought it at 12.5 and now it's now 18%. The bond price will go down. So she will not be able to sell it at 100 again. She might sell it at 70 naira or 80 naira. There's a calculation involved, which is beyond the scope of this conversation. So the best time to buy bonds is during the fresh issue. There has not been a fresh issue. I think the series bonds, there have not been any this year. There was one during the pandemic, the Sukuk bond. That one was a fresh issue. When you buy it, you don't pay any premium. You buy it for 100 naira. There was a bond I was about to buy some weeks ago at 101 naira. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. Please, I want it. I gave instructions to my broker, please pay. I was rejoicing. It was too good to be. Only one naira on top, only for me to get a WhatsApp message close to midnight. Sorry, the seller is no longer selling. He's asking for 106 because CBN had just dropped the MPR, so that sent the market haywire, so the rates dropped. So he was asking for more money. I had made my projections based on premium of 1 naira per unit. So I told her, sorry, I will pass. So what I've done now is I put my money in a mutual fund, which gives me about 6% to compound. I am waiting for the next fresh issue. But there are also times that you get a good deal. That's why having a broker and that constant communication, if you see, I'm looking at this range, maybe I'm ready to pay 5 naira more, that means like 105 or something like that. And the thing with premium is, you have saved, let's look at Hassan again. To buy a 10 million bond, he had to shell out 18 million. That puts him in a hole of 8 million. But if he's disciplined, what he will do, because the coupon rate is high, which is 12.5, he can be saving some money from the coupon rate to plow back to plug the 8 million hole. That's what I did in one bond I bought in April. I mean, my wife was not enthusiastic about it because of the premium. I said, look, because the tenure is long, I will plow back some of the interest and plug the hole. Because if you look at it, when this bond expires, matures at, where is it again? 2026. Hassan will get 10 million. That's the first value. He only paid 8 million so that Tope will agree to release the bond so that I can take position at 12.5. So that's how bonds work, and I believe there's going to be a lot of questions on that. It's something I need 1 hour, but I can't spend more time on bonds than this. It's something I've done and I'm still doing. It helps, it gives you peace of mind. Some people will say, 30-year bond, will you be alive in 30 years? There's a secondary market. I gave you an example of Tope that I bought for 10 million and sold for 18. She put 8 million in her pocket as profit. So the financial growth plan, that's still financial security plan. I want to move on to financial growth plan. But also part of the financial security plan, rental income can also be part of financial security plan if you have a good management system. For example, I have a rental property which till date I only had one delinquent tenant. And the reason I lost, I didn't even lose up to 1 year. The reason I lost up to almost 1 year was my lawyer was dragging, the property manager was saying, let this guy go, let's put another tenant. My lawyer was saying, no, let's do this and do that. I have professionals managing, I have facilities managers, I have a tenant, I have a lawyer. So they help because in real estate investment for rental, the key is getting a good property in a good location and to getting good tenants. If you don't have good tenants, no matter how good the property, you are going to have issues. That's why it's good to involve professionals. I was in discussion with a friend who was telling me that, look, real estate investment is too much wahala. I would just park my money. Then it was more than 10%. So it was punching calculator for me. So I was trying to tell him that, look, you need both. You need money market, you need real estate investment, rental income. Whether you want to develop and sell or have tenants, you can have the best of all worlds. It's not either or. Because rates can drop. I told him that now, he will remember my words, rates can drop. Rental income always goes up most of the time, always, maybe by 20% in 2 years or whatever. Some landlords, they do 100, I don't have the liver to do that. So, and the land appreciates. The house, the building does not appreciate, but the land appreciates. And sometimes, like where I'm living now, I got it for 5 million, now it's worth more than 60. Sometimes I say, do I move out and sell the land? It appreciates. So it's good to invest in areas like this where you get appreciation and cash flow. Cash flow is very, very important. It's critical because you need cash. So in your growth plan, like I said before, you need financial security plan, I need financial growth plan. You need both. You want to invest in the stock market, learn how it works. You want to do Forex, learn how it works. The stock market is picking up gradually. And there are some companies that if you see their trajectory of dividend payment is always going up. Even if it's slightly, it's always going up. And I know people that have done fantastic things with dividend payments because it's part of their planned cash flow. So there are other markets and there are greater risks, but you have to learn how to manage those risks. I keep saying when it comes to investment, like in virtually everything in life, the risk is not in the investment. The risk is in you. How do you know what you are doing? You ask your 15-year-old, sweetheart, here's the key to my car. Please run to the mall and get me some groceries. Here's the list. That's a very risky undertaking. She doesn't know how to drive. She doesn't have driver's license. If you pull that stunt, you'll be praying, maybe even in tongues, that you will come back safely. Why? Because she doesn't know what she's doing. What if you are talking about a 30-year-old that has been driving for 10 years? The risk is down. How? Because of the person involved. What about you going yourself? You know how to manage yourself in the road. Emotional intelligence, you don't get easily provoked. You can see danger coming and you avoid. You see a trailer with a container, you don't go anywhere near it. And all these things. So all this, the risk is based on you. It's not that the thing is risky, everything has risk. You can stay in your parlor and an airliner can crash and kill you there. It happened in Nigeria. So staying in your parlor to watch TV is also a risk, or sleeping on your bed. So risk is everywhere. What we need to do is learn how to manage it, how to control it in such a way that it's no longer risky, because you know what to do. You have an entry strategy, you have an exit strategy, you know what to do when things don't go the way you want, the way you anticipated. So one thing I want to mention is affiliate marketing. The two speakers before have spoken a lot about online technology. Part of managing your money is having the skills to make more money. Affiliate marketing is becoming more mainstream now because of technology. you can develop your hobby into a business. You can sell your skill. As simple as someone who has an autistic child coaching another parent who's going through the same issues. In abusive marriage, how to pass this exam, how to do this, how to sew, how to, a lot of people, the way they use social media, instead of sharing where they are and what they are doing, they will be selling skills, they will be selling themselves. Affiliate marketing, you can sell a product that is not yours, that is created by someone else, that is not even in your country, and you make money in Naira, in dollars, in euro. And the best way to enter is to use a product that you have used. That means you have a first-hand knowledge of it, and you love it, and you will wholeheartedly share it. You can, if it's a dress, for example, you can snap yourself wearing the dress and different things, so that you are engaging people in that area. Is it in coaching, addiction? So many sellable skills. Is it artwork? There's something that you are good at, and you can make money through it in your own time, especially now that times have changed, and the time that you used to spend on Third Mainland Bridge or in Kubwa or wherever, the commute time is now yours on days that you work from home, and you can make better use of that time. The world will not go back to the other speakers have addressed this. The world will not go back to where you come to work Monday to Friday, every day, especially in the private sector. They will give you some days off, and you have more time to work. So you can sell someone else's product, and you can develop your own product on your own time. And this product can be in your area of your professional competence if there is no conflict of interest issues relating to your current employer. And you can sell yourself. I don't need to speak much about this. The previous speaker, Professor Shovisan, spoke a lot on that. And you can, even if you lose your job now, you can get another one elsewhere. But we are talking about, where the world is going towards is doing what you love, passion, not just to put food on the table. And one key skill you need, among all the skills listed by Mrs. Ini, is digital marketing. If you want to sell something, if you don't want to spend money, it can be through your followers. That's where you have social media influencers. You may not command 3 million people. Maybe your own is only 300. But there are platforms that you can sell. All you need to do is know how to sell. And with Facebook, for example, you can target people. If you say you want professors to see this product, there's a place in Facebook that you can put that only professors you want to see. Let me give you one true story. One of the facilitators in the academy I coordinate went for a pitch. He arrived late, and they refused to listen to him. But he knew that he had a very good pitch, he and his team. So they went back to the drawing board, and they decided to reach out to the MD of this company. So you know what they did? They videoed their pitch, went to Facebook. They want to post an advert. So Facebook will ask, who do you want this advert to see? Who is this advert for? They pick Mr. Lagbaja, that's the name of the CEO. Friends of Mr. Lagbaja, we want them to see this video. They funded the account, PAM. Within 30 minutes, their phone rang. You know what happened? They said friends of Mr. Lagbaja who are CEOs, not just friends, who are CEOs. One of the friends saw it, one of the CEOs saw it. Oga, oh boy, have you seen this presentation? It's something related to what you are doing now in your company. You need to see it. I just said, I'm on the road. When I get home, I will see it. Or I can't remember, or maybe he opened his phone and when he got home, he called the secretary, call me these guys. So he called these guys in for a private pitch. And the rest is history, they won it. You can target your product to only people that live in Admiralty Way in Lekki, to this street in this. Is that you can target it to working women who have 2-year-old children. The level of targeting available now is amazing. You don't need to knock doors. You don't need to go to Banana Island. If you say this advert is for people in Banana Island, maybe you want to sell a jet ski. Who are the people that will love jet skis and have the money and are willing to pay? Oh, people who live in Banana Island. So you do a video of your jet ski, what you can do and all the pitch, and go target Lekki, Banana Island. Bam, only those in Banana Island will see it. So you don't need, so the point I'm making is you don't need to have the audience. You can buy it in Facebook, you can buy on Instagram, you can buy on Google. You can even sell yourself on LinkedIn. Like the previous facilitator, I don't know how she was reached out to come and lecture in Austria. You can put yourself out there and people will approach you. I've been approached for many jobs I didn't apply for and I'm not interested because I'm not looking in that direction right now. So social media, digital marketing skills is very, very critical in today's world. And there are different ways you can do it. But the simplest way and the shortcut is just go there and pay for the audience. Or you can do a blog, you can do different things. And you see like Cici Yemi, she does blogs. We know people that do blogs, they are getting a lot of traction. They don't need to advertise. But as a busy manager, you may not have that time and it may not fit very well with your profile as a manager in a corporate environment. You just put the product. Nobody knows who is selling. The beauty with affiliate marketing is that you may not need to touch a thing. You send the customer to the vendor because there's a link with your name. They'll know that it came from you. He's the one that will deliver, confirm delivery, take payment, and then we'll send your commission, whether it's monthly or a trade show where you get $100 or 10,000 naira, whatever it is. So the world is wide open. There's so much you can do. And the important thing, because I mean, I sit here, I'm listening to so much good stuff, and you might be feeling overwhelmed. Where do I start from? I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that. You need to settle down and define your priorities. Put the things that you need to do in a scale of priority and decide which one is number one. I remember when I was confused, I was still in paid employment. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to do that. I needed to do this. Then I read a book and I watched a video by Brian Tracy, The Focal Point. He said, all the things you want to do, just list them. After you have listed them, put them in order of priority. And the one that will go on to number one is this. Which one will give you the biggest impact? If you do that one, it will give you the most bang for your buck, as the Yankees say. After I brainstormed, I decided that the first thing I needed to do is to write a book. That's when I write Practical Steps to Financial Freedom and Independence. When I wrote the book, suddenly, you've seen my profile. I was a mechanical engineer minding my business in the oil industry. Suddenly, everybody thought I was a financial expert because I've written a book. I was writing for Punch. I was having speaking engagement and all these things. I developed myself along the way. And it opened up so many things. And the number two, I was able to enter number two, number three, number four. So I want to encourage you, get your acts together. What are the most important ones that you need to nail? Don't get overwhelmed by so much to do. Take one. And there are some things that when you master one, the skills you get there will position you better to do number two and number three. Continue reading, like our professor said. Never stop learning, never stop growing. Gather the knowledge, develop the ideas, put it into a plan, start to execute. You will stumble here, you stumble there, you make progress here, and you'll be amazed how far you have gone. So the times that we are in, we need to change. And we can. No matter your age, you can change. You can be tech savvy. I mean, I don't belong, I almost miss the XYZ generation. I'm 54, so I'm not exactly very young. But I've made up my mind that I will be current. I'll know how to do things. Because the world that we are in now, you need to keep learning, you need to keep upgrading. And don't talk about retirement, because your work here is not done until you are done. So you have to do what you love, what you are passionate about, and you can do it for the rest of your life. And you are making money doing it. And as the money is coming in, as you are enjoying life, you are putting some into the money market, some into real estate to maintain value, so that when the other one goes down, you have something to fall back on. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you. So I'm available to take questions, and I hope you get the presentation. My contact details are there.
We all take away a lot of what you have said. I know it's some questions, so please put those as we ask you several or two questions from women. Ladies, you can come against the Q&A and ask your questions, because this is a very interesting area, very important area for us to manage. Managing and how to do it well. Over to you, ladies.
Instead increasing income and invest, where do we stop investing?
Hello, the line is breaking. I'm not hearing.
You said increase income and invest. When we stop investing, when we stop investing, we enjoy life.
Okay. Okay, let me take that. When do we stop investing?
We enjoy life.
Okay, let me take this. You need to have investment goals. I want to reach this target. So when you reach the target, then you can decide where to stop or continue. Because what happens is that as we grow, as our goals change, our targets change. Maybe you might say, okay, I want to make 500,000, for example, from my money market account. And later on, that 500,000, you raise it. But the thing is that you need to strike a balance between maintaining your lifestyle and growing your investment. And the question is actually, the answer is actually individual, because it's based on what you want. You can get to the point that you say, okay, I will stop investing. But really, investing is ongoing, especially if you want to leave a legacy. You want to set up a foundation, for example, and you want to be able to fund it and it becomes self-funding. So in the middle of investing, you have to enjoy your life, you raise your standards, you move from one level of living to the other. So it's a balancing act. It doesn't mean that as you're investing, you tighten your belt until it almost cuts your waist. So it depends on individual lifestyle. Like I've said throughout the presentation, you can do both. You can invest more and enjoy life more. It's based on your choice. Because if you decide this is what I want to do, and you put your mind to it, you will find a way to do it. I know people who were buying new cars as they were building house. And I know those that when you see them, you know they are building house because their car has broken down, their house is in shambles, their clothes is tearing because they are pumping everything into a house. It's based on really on your mindset, because the world is the world of abundance and you can achieve both. So as you are investing in your investment journey, it becomes more than yourself. There are things you want to do for your community and you want it to be self-sustaining. There are some foundations that they have underlying investments so that it's in perpetuity. Look at the Nobel Prize, for example. Mr. Alfred Nobel died more than 100 years ago, but the foundation is still making money to fund the prizes by itself because he put in structures whereby investments that he has will pay for those prices. So it actually depends on what you want. And if you have bigger dreams, you'll never stop investing and never stop enjoying your life. You can do both. I see another question on is the mandatory contributory pension scheme an investment with benefits? Are the benefits really worthwhile? Your pension scheme is mandatory. You don't have an option. You have to do it. But what you need to do is, in addition to that one, also have your own retirement plan. Don't depend on that one alone. The reason being that you don't have control on how it is managed. And you'll be surprised by the time you retire, the amount they say you are entitled to, which is why even while you're in paid employment, you have to check with your pension manager, ask them, at this, where I am now, if I leave paid employment today, how much will I get monthly? They can calculate that for you. So don't depend on your pensions, especially if you want to enjoy your life in old age. Your pension money will not be enough. So you have to invest in growing your money so that you become richer as you are growing older. Because where you want to go is where your money is working for you. Because as you get older, your physical strength wanes and your ability to work for money will depreciate. So you want to be in a position where your money is doing most of the work. Your money and technology is doing most of the work while you are giving the brain power. So on my number, I can also share it here. I don't know if NIM has my presentation. They can share with everyone. I can also share my number and email here, if that's fine. I'll get the guidance of NIM.
Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. We are really sent by some of our participants, and they're giving you such doing. Thank you so much, guys. And I want to assure all participants that they will have the presentation sent to their email address. So they shouldn't worry about not having all these details because the PowerPoint really explains very well and they will able to get some of the answers that they wondering. Once again, I apologize for the stretching time because of the late starting, because of the issue. And I will give the microphone to the entity or any announcements to participants. Once again, I want to thank you for both the resource persons and the participants. Please hold up for announcement. Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone once again for being a part of this conference. Despite all the really hard thanks so much more. We'd like to remind you of the annual National Humanitarian Conference taking place on the 17th of November online with the lecture. So please celebrate. Also, my birthday on the 19th of November. Everyone will appear as that because of now, I want to thank you very much. Once again, as my closing remarks, I wish to say that the WIMLEAD is getting better. You agree with me? As you have learned from the different speakers, change is inevitable. Therefore, we must participate. And in the university, we must have this positive attitude. We cannot run away from technology. Managers must learn to adapt to change. The key word is an important strength for adaptability. You must adapt to change. Because if you don't, the world is going to leave you behind. And from what Mrs. Oshofi talked about, she really emphasized improving your skills. Because you want to market yourself as money, you need skill. Again, we're going to be left behind. So, COVID or no COVID, we must try to use technology, to see technology as a tool that can improve us professionally. And we can use technology to aid our communication at work and at home. Because improve our well-being. Research tells us all the benefits you can get from use technology very well. It can also give you self-confidence. It can thrive with science and not lag behind. You should be able to develop yourself continuously. And that you to what's new. What is new. And last but not least, we can be a successful manager at work and out. You also can be successful in managing our finances. He gave us a lot of points as to how we can improve our finances. And that again, you can do with the help of technology. The also my great statement in all of this focus be positive and try to achieve what is achievable without any fear that if you fail, oh, I'm going to do that. You fail, it gives you the opportunity to learn where you are from yourself and medicines. It was please don't think. And I hope that this conference in a way will give you something to work on in your various organizations and even in the home for you to be a better manager, a better woman. I wish you every luck. Thank you. I hope it was good.
Thank you very much, Mark. Before I go, I want to say that the certificates will be sent via email tomorrow. Certificates via email tomorrow. We have the president of the council of the best of my staff and all of you, and your different organizations for sponsoring you for today. Thank you very much for gracing this event with your presence. I'm also grateful to see Professor Mrs. Adenike, Professor Ms. and staff to say that for finding time to write and think on the event topics. Thanks immensely for using this platform to share your professionalism and knowledge of experience with the women for. Also, many President and Mrs. Christie, Dr. Secretary and Mr. President of this all of we are very happy to continue support and dedication to the cause of the university. I also recommend that the State of Council members to thank you very much. Finally, let me invite you once again the 2020 Annual National Women Conference of this community. My COVID-19, so women is 17 November, we have once again, thank you very much for your presence, and hopefully we'll meet again next year for the Women's Conference 2021 in Abuja. Thank you for this. Thank you.